Hey guys, this is Jen from ScanNCut Canvas and Scal Help on Facebook. This is part 2 of the rhinestone video. And in the beginning here, what I'm going to show you is how I'm going to cut the actual rhinestone template. For those of you that have never done one, you really need to do this. Also, if you have done a few updates and maybe haven't done one, or if you have switched stones, okay, so let's say you've went from DMC to Korean or something like that, you kind of need to make sure your stones are going to fit. And if you have went from, say, version 4.044 up to 4.063, etc., you really need to check to make sure your stones are still going to fit. Okay, so let's see. I haven't done mine in forever, so I need to do another one. Rhinestone template. It's hard to see that there's anything there, but there really are little tiny baby holes there. Okay, cut. And let me take a look here. Alright, that should work. And let's start this. 4 minutes. So we'll let that do its damage, and we will come back. Okay, so it looks like we have success. So I'm going to pop this little guy out of here, get it over to the table, and get down to business figuring out which one is which. Okay, so now we're going to cut a pattern, and we're not going to do the whole big one. We're just going to cut one of these. And if you noticed in the video that I did, I saved it intentionally going the wrong way. I saved it horizontally instead of vertically, because this is what will come up on your screen. Okay, and in order to fix this, okay, sometimes you can pull them back in here and sometimes you cannot. Okay, alright, let's decrease the size because we only have a 12-inch mat. So what I'm doing is I'm decreasing the size right now. There we go. And when it goes from that gray to black, that means it's going to fit inside of your mat. And I want to rotate it. Oh. Come on. I want to rotate this 90. And it's not going to do that. So let's decrease this a little bit more. No. A little bit smaller. There we go. Okay. Just pull it away from the sides. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this, and when it's done cutting, I'll bring you over to the table and pop it off of there. Here is the settings I have in my deep cut blade. Deep cut will allow that pressure to be above a -1. So with my deep cut blade, I took that pressure up to a 1. Okay, but you don't necessarily need it. That just helps with that chipboard, because with chipboard, if it's not really compressed well, it can start to flake and act up on you. That's why I will take it up to a 1, but that is the thick chipboard, not the thin stuff. Okay, so the really thick chipboard I will take up to a 1. The cut speed is a 1. And then your blade depth, again, is set by you, your machine, your blade holder, and then your media. Because we all know that the chipboard, man, the thickness of that stuff varies so much. And now you see why I love using chipboard. Cuts really, really easily out. And you see most all the holes popped out just by lifting it up off the mat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and write down the sizes that I cut in here. So there was the 12, there was the small 13, large 13, small 14, large 14, small 15, and large 15. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm famous for doing stuff out of the camera. Okay. I used a big scrap piece of paper, scrap piece of chipboard. And I'm just going to chop it up. My scissor skills are just to die for, aren't they? Okay. I wish my dogs would just stop. Okay, so let's see here. I have some SS14s and it looks like some dog hair. So let's see which ones they go into the easiest. Okay, it looks like the largest 14. Oh, the easiest one's actually the smallest 15. As you can see, I can run it over that 14 and they're not, but man, they drop, you see that? They drop right into the small 15. Easy. Over here, I can rub and rub and rub and they're not wanting to drop in. And this is what I mean by taking, you see, well, they'll drop in, but it takes you a little while. I don't want to take a little while. I want, when I rub that stone over, it goes right in. So the small 15 or even the large 15 works really, really well. And yes, it's not stuck down, so of course, you know, but this one right here, the small 15, works like a charm. Even more so than the large 14 now. Okay. And that doesn't necessarily mean that Sure Cuts a Lot has changed. What that can mean is during our updates, maybe something has changed with our machine. But it does not hurt to check anytime you do an update. So if you've used the 14, so like I had always used the large 14, make sure that you check that. So just cut a large 14 and see, does it still fit like it did? Cut one size up. Okay, see, does that work better? And this one, in this case, the smallest 15 works for me. So this is the one that I'm going to now star. Okay, so I will put .063 SS10 TA, which means my thread art SS10s on version .063, this is the one that works. Okay? And if there's another version that comes out and I download it and I'm doing some rhinestones, I can just cut another one out of some scrap, junky rhinestone template material, which I use chipboard. And you see why I use chipboard. It just cuts really nice. Okay? But I'm going to show you that next. I'm going to cut the template that you've seen me make, kind of, because you all know that video the previous one got eaten by Mike's deer hunting stuff. So I will be back to cut that template. Okay, before we get cutting, I want to go through some of the stuff I use. Here's a brayer. Okay, this will come in handy for some things. This is a razor knife, razor, whatever, scraper tool thingy. Okay, I will use this oftentimes on the back side of my chipboard. If I have my if I'm using my half cut machine, if it's not coming out right, I'll go on that back and just scrape it off. Rips those shads right off of there. Okay, it's a wonderful tool. Just be careful with it. Keep it in a safe place if you have small kids, of course, because it's a very sharp item. This is the Hotfix tool. Okay, when I'm talking about rhinestones, that's what I'm using is the Hotfix. So when that red's on, that means that tip is getting hot. If you have to singly place things, you just use this, put it on the top or on the underside. I recommend using both. Put it on the top side to kind of tack it down and then go after it on the back side, but I normally do that when I'm on my heat press. So if I have to singly place something, I'll do that like this on the front, and then when I take everything to my heat press, I will go after it on the back. Okay, these are the brushes that I use. I don't use those expensive things. I go to Walmart and get these for like 25 cents when they're on clearance. These are the big ones. This is the, I think they call it an edging tool. You see the little wheels right there? Okay. But these have that, like, I don't even know what you call it. It's like a furry surface. I don't know. Let me see if I can zoom this in. Dang camera. Nope, this is as close as it goes. Yeah, it's as close as it gets. But it's got like a furry texture. You have this pick-me-up tool. If I can ever get it off. This little gray thing is this. Where are they? This right here. You know that kind of like gum stuff you put on your walls? This craft putty. That's what that is stuffed in here. It's awesome. Then you have this hard plastic flicker. It's kind of cool when you got to position stuff or try to flip it over. Just don't press down on them because they go shooting everywhere. My entire room has rhinestones all over the floor. Then your general pick and your hard plastic scraper. Man, you can tell I've been scraping the tar out of something, huh? Then here is my brush tool and my little handheld Dyson. You'll see me use that. Then these Tidy Craft pans. These are a godsend because I put my rhinestones in them just like this. They have these little caps on the end of them, so then you can tip all of these up when you're done and put them back into your little holders. Okay, all right. And see, I just wrote Scal. The largest 15 for your SS10s. 0.063 is the version I'm on. You can do something like that if you want, but that, I love these pans. Okay, I just wanted to give you a little of what I use for the stuff that I do. And then to tack down after you cut your template, we're going to go over that after I actually get it cut. Okay, and one thing you should note with cutting thicker things, do multiple cuts if you need to. Okay, like with this one, I cut it twice. Alright, I set my blade kind of deep. Okay, and then the second cut, I went even deeper. Alright, I'm not even going to mention what my blade depth was because I don't want someone getting real thin chipboard and setting their blade depth at what I had and then cutting through their mat and saying, Jen, you said no. Okay, what you need to do is test cut to figure out what your blade depth is. Okay, so what I do is I'll put it through for that initial cut. Then when it's finished cutting, just leave your mat in the machine, go through and brush off all those little pieces. Okay, now I use caution, or I'm going to turn this on because I want to show you what I do. I actually take my little handheld vacuum, turn it on, and I vacuum. I vacuum all this off because what I don't want is all those little chunks of paper getting in the machine. Okay, that will cause that error message to come up that basically it's not going to take your mat in, you need to clean your scanner. Okay, so suck off all these little chunks. Then go ahead, slightly deepen that blade again. I usually go up by one number. Okay, so put it up by one number, stick it back in, and when you're done, okay, so that actually cut really good. I only have a few places that I need to use the scrub brush and the vacuum cleaner on. And you'll also want to watch so that what doesn't happen is that one of these tiny little circles gets stuck up in that blade holder and actually stops that blade from cutting, because that can happen. And what it'll do is you'll see maybe a little bit of pressure marks with the circles, but no cutting, or just slight cutting, slight scoring of the chipboard. Okay, so watch your stuff as it cuts to make sure that's not happening, because it can. Okay, so what I do is I take this, and I'm going to go over it. And let me show you if I can get the camera up high enough out of the way. I'm going to take my vacuum cleaner, and I sit it on end, pop this off, and I take this and I slide over as I'm doing this, okay? Because what this does is this forces those little things down, okay? And then it sucks it off, alright? Or what I can do is I can take my little, get all this crap out of the way. Too much stuff. Okay? Take my little, whatever that thing is called, scraper thingy. I have such professional terminology. And I will take it and I will go after it this way. I don't go forward because what that wants to do is that wants to grab a hold of it and chop everything up. Okay? So I just take it and grab a hold of it. And the reason that I do this, one, it doesn't take very long to make these, but two, my templates will last me. It's not a one and done. These templates will last me a very, very long time. Okay? So I don't have to worry about making one and then, oh, it's destroyed, I can't use it anymore. My templates will last quite a while. And to me that's important, because if I'm going through the whole rigmarole of making the dadgum things, I want it to last. Okay? So as you see, it's about done. Okay? Oops, one more. Just a flick. And now I have this paper all over the blasted place. Okay, so there it is. Completely done. Minus that one. Where'd it go? Right there. There it is. Okay. So now I have my template that I will have for quite a long time. Actually, nope, these two. Oh, they just fell right out. Good. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to go and see what we can stick this to after I vacuum my whole table and myself off, so that we can start to put the rhinestones in. This is where a lot of people are like, I don't know how to do that. So that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so I have my old C mat, the back of it. Look how gross it is, because it's like 700 years old. But I don't think there's any adhesive on the back of it. It doesn't feel like it. God only knows what's on the back of it. It's been over in my junk pile for a little while. Yeah, that'll fit nicely. Okay. Make sure all of your little holes are cleaned out, because you don't want anything impeding those stones falling in there. Looks like I forgot a couple little tags there. Okay, so now it's nice and clean. Okay. Alright. Now, what I'll do, I used to use 505 on this, but that got a little expensive and pricey. And I am way too cheap for that. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is use my little ATG gun, oops, and go real close to the holes, but not over them like I just did with that one. Okay, so just kind of go around there. If you have something that you can use that's kind of similar, feel free. Just do not. Evidently I can't drive today because I'm managing to hit every single hole. Good Lord. Glad I'm not out in public today. But just take your time and go around here. And when you're done, You don't have to do the insides or anything like that. Just kind of enough on the outside to where it's not going to lift and the stones are going to get underneath, okay? I'm going to come back when I am finished. Okay, so now you can see where all I got. So I did kind of get the insides a little bit. Okay. Alright, so this is if you're using chipboard. And remember, you can use your flock, whatever you have. It doesn't matter. This is just what I choose to use. And you don't have to have chipboard sheets. You can use cereal boxes, okay? It's just whatever you have. But this tends to work really well for me. And I happen to have a lot of this stuff. I actually have quite a few cereal boxes and lots of this chipboardy type of stuff because my mom used to save all kinds of it for me. I literally have stacks. Okay, so now let me get, when I started this, I had one thing half made up. Yeah, and I got dog hair all over in it. So now, let me lift this up so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, and when I dump my stones, I like to try to follow the design, okay, as best I can. Why are these all stuck together? Oh my god. I think my kids were up here playing. Just kind of try to follow it just to get them all out there. Also, if you want to use like a cookie sheet or those little, hang on, these Tidy Craft big sheets, okay, these are 10 by 14, okay, so unless your design fits down in here, I probably wouldn't recommend it, okay, because if your sheets or whatever you're using bows, you can't get those stones down in there, okay. So if it sits flat in there, then yes, these are a good thing to use, okay? Because then your stones, you can dump them out easily. Cookie sheets are another good thing, an old one. You don't want to be putting adhesive on things that you might cook on in the future. Okay. Then take your brush and press. And start sweeping side to side. And remember, the harder you press, it seems to work better. If you have kind of a light touch, it might take you a little longer. Okay, but get the stones underneath there. Oh, the dog hair. And press and work side to side. And these stones are supposed to be weighted so that they fall into there. My OCD is in overdrive today, sorry. I just gotta let those stones go. It's probably because I was cleaning up stones all day today off of my craft room floor. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep on working on this, but you see all these holes are filling nicely. Okay. And let's go. And keep working. Alright, and I will come back when I am done. Okay, so now you can see there's some holes. This is this tool that I was telling you about. So I can come down here, pick up one on the end, bring it in here, and lay it down. Oh, maybe. It's not going to stick to my finger there. Okay, but this is how this tool works. You can also use that tool to help you remove it if you need to, or move them around. But I really like this tool. And it's the Pick Me Up from Silhouette. So for anyone that's interested in what this tool is, I got it on clearance somewhere. I never pay full price for anything. Too cheap. But I'm going to keep working on this. As you see, I just have a few that don't have stones in them, and then I'll be back. Okay, oops, sorry, you're not in the camera. They're all in, and now we're ready for the transfer tape. Please understand, if you have a transfer tape, it must be heat transfer tape. You can't use the regular transfer tape that you use for regular vinyl. It will melt, okay? So it has to be able to be, oh, excuse me, it has to be able to be used for heat transfers. And upon doing this, I almost wished I would have used the large SS15s instead of the small. Because I like my stones to have some room to wiggle. Well, you don't want your stones to have so much room that they have a roommate, but you want them to be able to have enough room to comfortably sit in there. And I noticed some of those little holes that were left open, it's because they were too small for that stone to comfortably sit down in. So I would almost use the 15s. But what I'm going to do is, after I'm done with this, I'm actually going to go check to make sure that all the stones are equal, because a lot of these stones, even though they're all from thread art, some of them look smaller, because as you can tell, these are not all the same color. Some are pinks, some are the clear diamondy looking ones, and no, I do not remember the names. But that's what it looked like. And what I'm afraid of was when I do this, I might force these stones down into the board, and they tend to like to get stuck in there sometimes. See? Yeah, some of them get all in love with the board there, which is okay. I'm going to turn this over. Look at the cricket mat. Oh, sinful, sinful, sinful. Okay, but what we can do is come in here and actually, hang on, I'm trying to get this in here. I need 10,000 hands. Excuse me. I'm slowly peeling this bad girl away. Of course, my fingers always get stuck in here. For some reason, that little girl wants to stick. And it looks like we had 3 that wanted to stick. 4. For some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and go back in and place these with my little tool. But they all come out just fine. Yeah, so I think I would definitely use the large SS15. So I'm going to go in and change all of my stuff that I have printed, like on the SS10 stone container thingy that I have holding them. I'm going to actually go in there and change that, because these snugged up so tight in their little cardboard that they did not want to let go. They'll let go now that I have this out, but still, you know, it's not fun when you're trying to get a couple of things done. Alright, now where's this little last one go? That's always my luck. I can never find it. Alright, I will come back as soon as I find this last one. Well, that was easy. Once you flip it over, they pop right out. But I still am actually going to go up a size to the largest SS15. And I see I'm going to have to come in here and fix a couple of those before I do my final press and my heat press. And no, there will not be a video for that, because there already is one, and it is the same technique. Pressing in the front and then turning it inside out and pressing in the back. So I need to make sure I fix that before I do that. Alright guys, if you have any questions at all, and again, understand, you do not have to use chipboard. You can use the regular pink, you can use the orange gel, you can use whatever you want. What this video is designed to do is to let you know that you must cut the templates, kind of how to position things, what to do, kind of allow you to explore different ways to cut your templates, okay? Using different media. You are not tied into what these big companies give us. You are allowed to explore. So if you find something you like, go for it. As long as it's safe for our machines to cut, there really isn't a problem with it. Get out there and explore. Alright guys, if you have any questions, please come and join me over at ScanNCut Canvas and Scal Help on Facebook. Thanks guys, have a great day.